It's hard to believe it, but the 2025 new bike season is already here, and this is the first bike that has rolled down the assembly line and into the hands of the MXA Wrecking Crew. That's right, it's the 2025 KTM 450Sxf. With the new model comes a handful of big changes. The biggest one is the new frame. It's got some visible cutouts here. It's also got new engine mounts and a new linkage to soften up the chassis and make it a little more compliant and a little more flexible. 2023, this bike was all new, but KTM missed the mark. They went too stiff, too rigid, and it took 10 hours to break in the KTM 450. It wasn't so bad after that, but it was a very harsh bike to begin with. Now we saw these updates come on the 2024.5 KTM 450 Factory Edition. It is trickled onto the 2025 model, and we're excited to tell you all we know about this bike right now. Retailing for $11,299, the KTM 450Sxf has a couple updates for the 2025 season. Already briefly mentioned them. The frame and the linkage are the two major ones. KTM needed to make this bike a little more flexible, a little more compliant around the track, and the big question is, do those changes actually work? The answer is yes. Thanks to this hole right here, this bike is more compliant on the track. Now, the only updates that are really visible are the shock tower mounts. They have these massive holes right here, not there onto 2023 and 2024 models. Also, the new engine mounts cut out a lot more flexible and soft. Couple things that you can't see on this bike though, linkage bolts are smaller now to add a little more flex in the linkage. Also, the linkage has some material removed from it to make it a little more flexible to absorb the rear wheel chop coming out of corners. Also, these frame spars right here, they're a little bit thinner. The frame tubes up at the front, the gussetings, a little bit thinner as well. All these small changes that are invisible to the eye are meant to make this bike not so stiff, not so rigid, and not so harsh on the track. So what do the updates actually feel like on the track? They don't make it a completely new motorcycle. They just take the edge off and make it a little more compliant. It basically feels like a 23 or a 24 with 15 hours on it. It's already broken, it's already plush, and it's already ready to go. And that was just today after only 1 hour of riding on this bike. It's not a totally new motorcycle. It doesn't change the feel, it doesn't change the balance, doesn't really change the handling either. It just kind of takes the edge off the bumps. Not such a harsh packing feel, more of a smooth over the bumps, through the bumps, and more of a plush feel now. Talking about the engine on the dyno, this thing hits 59.2 horsepower peak with 34.8 foot-pounds of torque. It is a very strong engine, but it is actually a linear engine and smooth to ride on the track. It feels like a tractor today. I could wheelie anywhere I wanted to, and it was just smooth and easy to ride. It's not a bike that's gonna yank out of your arms, but it's one that's really very confidence inspiring. Map switch is the same. Map 1, the white map, smoother, more mellow. Map 2 is the green map. That's what I preferred today. A little more excitement. Also does come with traction control button and quick shift button. I don't really like quick shift, but it's nice to have that option on there. The one big difference though about this bike and the factory edition, there is no Lit Pro GPS connectivity unit here on the front fender and no transponder here on the right fork leg. That is an upgrade that you can buy through the KTM Power Parts catalog. I was wrong. I thought that would actually come on the 2025 2025 models. It came on the factory editions. It does not come on the 2025 models. So $249, I believe, through KTM dealers. Buy the front fender, buy the GPS unit, you buy the Wi-Fi unit for the fork leg, and that allows you to connect your phone to your bike. Then you can adjust mapping. You can also monitor lap times with the Lit Pro leaderboard. All kinds of cool stuff that we talked about on the factory edition. This bike is compatible. The 24 models are compatible, and the 23 models are all compatible. You can buy those upgrades and stick it on the bike. You can pay the Lit Pro service monthly or for the year, the subscription service, to be able to monitor segment times, lap times, and the coolest part is you can see how many times you shift around the track. You can see your air time and also see RPMs where they are around the track too. So lots of cool stuff that you can have, but it doesn't come stock on this bike. That's an upgrade that you have to buy. Of course, the KTM does still come with WP Exact air forks here on the front end. Now, I'm a big proponent for air forks. I do like them a lot. I think they're actually awesome, but I have been riding with the MX Tech Blackjack spring forks. Now, they make a complete fork, and we've just completely replaced these forks on our KTM 450 Factory Edition. That's what I've been racing with the last few months, and I just recently raced the Hangtown National on our KTM 450 Factory Edition with those forks. So for me, jumping back on the air forks today, I do notice a weight difference on the front end. It is considerably lighter, and that is a feeling that I do like. The Blackjack forks are also lighter than WP cone valves, so I like that as well. I like kind of having a lighter front end. I don't like too much weight on the front, so the air forks are pretty nice for me. But the biggest problem with air forks, you do have to keep an eye on them. You have to baby them. You have to check the air pressure in the morning. If you're gonna leave your bike out in the sun all day and you don't want to put an easy up, you need to check your air pressure at the middle of the day. And then if you're going out for another moto at the end of the day, you need to check your air pressure again. Air screw bleeders need to be bled more often on air forks as well, just because the heat inside of there builds up air pressure and will make your forks feel a little stiff and rigid. So I know a lot of people get rid of their air forks and jump to spring forks right away. I'm a guy that says you need to take some time to get used to the air forks. Today I ran 11 bar in the front. That's quite a bit stiffer than I would recommend for most guys. 10.5 is a great place to start, and from there, check where your forks are going, how far they're going down in the stroke. I'm about 2.5 inches right here. By keeping an eye on that, it'll tell you if you need to up the air pressure or lower air pressure. Sometimes it's the small details that make the user experience just that extra little high quality. Brembo brakes, a Brembo clutch, hydraulic clutch, something I appreciate about KTM. I also appreciate how easy it is to adjust the levers on here. A couple little clicks brings the lever out, a couple little clicks brings the lever back in. You don't have to use any tools to adjust that. Also, adjusting suspension on here, the compression clicker at the top of the right fork leg, super easy to turn, go in or out on your compression. Also, rebound at the bottom is adjustable by hand, as well as the shock is also adjustable by hand. It's kind of tucked in back behind here. You can mess with the clickers there. This black fork cap right here, this means nothing to the average rider. There's no adjustments or anything that can be made here. Talking to the WP guys, they said that this is made for further down the road when they're gonna wanna plug in some sensors to our forks. I don't really know what it's gonna be for, but it's there, and it doesn't mean anything for us as riders right now. It's just for further down the road, plugging in sensors to the forks to monitor how they're working on the track. Other nice upgrades that'll come with your KTM 450. You'll get the Dunlop MX34 tires on here. Also, get a little bit of traction on this seat up here. Not a ton, but a little bit of traction. Yes, it does come with a black frame. You don't get that cool orange factory edition frame, but you'll save a little bit of money with the stock 2025 model. Also, ODI lock-on grips, super easy to install, comfortable to use. Other than that, I appreciate how easy it is to take the oil cap on and off, but I would recommend switching this out for probably a Hinson or another brand to make an aluminum cap instead of the plastic one that can be twisted off by your boot. So keep an eye on that. Also, we appreciate that they upgraded the brake tip. The rear brake tip used to bend super easily on the 23 and 24 models, so that's been beefed up to be a little bit stronger on this bike. Overall, I had a lot of fun riding it today. It was nice to ride a fresh KTM 450. The last few months I've been riding our factory edition model. Also raced our 350 at the Paula National, so we were really risking limb and life out there at the Nationals the last 2 weeks at Paula and in Hangtown. If you haven't seen those videos, be sure to check them out on our YouTube channel. And if you appreciate that we go out of our way to do stuff like that, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. A lot more bikes coming down the pipeline for 2025. This one is new, but because we saw all these updates on the factory edition, it's not that exciting, but we're still happy to have new 2025 models rolling down the way. Let us know in the comments which bikes you want to see next and which questions you have for upcoming models. Hondas are coming soon, and Kawasaki KX250 is new as well. So thank you guys for watching this video. See you in the next one.